The three ministers who were caught on camera watching porn in the State Assembly have resigned. The state BJP met early this morning. Karnataka Chief Minister S. Sadanandgowda said the state party president Ishwarappa were at the meeting along with the three tainted ministers. The three put in their resignation letters at the meeting. Their resignation has been accepted by the Chief Minister. Now, the Congress has called it a shameless act, while the BJP said it is a worrying matter. The party has set up an inquiry. Now, the state party chief said the three BJP ministers have voluntarily resigned. Mangalore in charge Minister Krishna Palmer, Cooperation Minister Lakshman Savadi and Karnataka Women and Child Welfare Minister C.C. Patil, they said they were resigning to save the party's image.
Already concerned three ministers, voluntarily they have given the resignation, and our chief minister accepted the resignation, and he is going to send that resignation letter to the Rajyapal to accept the resignation, and they want some type of inquiry, but that naturally the speaker will take the necessary decision as early as possible, some type of inquiry whichever is suitable to the speaker.
You know, it is mere resignation is not just adequate to meet with this kind of a contingency. It's a shameless act on the part of those MLAs and those two ministers and also the other minister who has passed over this kind of a clipping to them. Then, you know, it all happened to the glare of the camera inside the assembly. In fact, they should have been immediately suspended from the MLA-ship by the speaker. They have also violated cyber law. They should have been immediately prosecuted and, you know, arrested on this matter. It's a shame to the political class as such. You know, this will give an impression to the public that, you know, this is what politicians are doing it. This is not for the first time these such things are happening in the BJP cadre and also among the BJP ministers. You know, even earlier 2-3 ministers, you know, indulged in some of these activities, you know, which is shameful to the political class itself. I think the BJP, there is no accountability in the BJP. You know, I don't know what these people are doing it, you know, here, bringing the entire democracy into shame. I think, you know, taking a resignation is not just enough. They should be arrested. They violated the cyber law, and, you know, they have done it in the, you know, they desecrated the sanctity of the assembly, and it happened with glare of the cameras inside the assembly. It's not just enough, you know. They have brought the parliament, the assembly itself into great disrepute. This is a perversity of highest order.
The ministers have come under a cloud, and now they've submitted their resignation, and they've submitted themselves to be investigated by any competent authority. And there is no tutu meme on this business. Congress, of course, we know, has had to explain a lot about Raj Bhavan being misused on such shameless acts. So leave that as it may. But the fact here is that the ministers have submitted their resignation, and the party has also announced that they are willing to submit themselves to an investigation by a competent authority. There is no doubt if it had happened, it is really very worrying. There is no doubt if it has happened, I repeat, that it is very worrying. But on this logic that, oh, you've been the moral police, I think all of us will have to not be too quick in jumping into these kind of conclusions, where many groups are, you know, doing it on their own. You don't need to give that kind of a name tag to any party. All of us are equally responsible for what is happening in the society. Nobody does moral policing just because we think, you know, one way or you think in another way. Let us not conclude in giving names to people.
And tracking the developments in the state is Maya Sharma. She joins us on the phone line now. Well, Maya, across the length and breadth of the country, this, of course, is the talking point. The Congress slamming the BJP over the hypocrisy, the sanctity of the assembly really being lost with such an act. But, of course, the government moving in quickly with those resignations.
That's right, Kulsum. A terribly awkward position for the BJP. It was inevitable that the ministers would, in fact, have to resign. Last night itself, we believe the BJP leadership really instructing the BJP leadership in the state to ask them to resign. Of course, they are maintaining that there was no pressure brought upon the ministers, that they resigned voluntarily to prevent further embarrassment for the BJP. And interestingly enough, the BJP leadership here is still apparently saying that the ministers did nothing wrong, that there would be an investigation, that they were just stepping down now to avoid embarrassment. But it's not going to end here, really. The opposition not giving up, the President of the Congress in the state, G. Parameshwar, saying that it's not a question of just the ministers, that of course the assembly should be dissolved and the chief minister himself should resign. We heard Veerappa Moily also talking about how the minister should in fact be arrested for violating cyber law. So the opposition, although the BJP would have hoped that some wind would be taken out of the opposition sails by the resignation, the opposition clearly in no mood to back down now. They know that the BJP is in a really, really awkward spot, and they're not going to let go of that advantage. A very awkward situation indeed, because it's not just a question of morals. The whole business of watching pornography, people have different views on that. But the question of they're actually doing this inside the assembly when it was in session, that has really come in for widespread condemnation. And the fact that one of the ministers involved, C.C. Patil, is actually Minister for Child and Women Development, has caused extra consternation. So yes, they have resigned to hopefully spare the BJP further embarrassment, but it may just not be enough.
Right, Maya Sharma, thanks very much for joining us. That's exactly the talking point, that it's not so much about them watching pornography, but it's about them watching pornography in the assembly. In fact, Trinamool MP Derek O'Brien has tweeted to say, if an MP MLA watches porn in his bedroom, it's his problem. If he watches it in Parliament, in the assembly, it's a big problem.